on my knees at the side of the, waiting to shake hands, trying to straighten my nose back up again, because it's about the third time that playoff that had been broken. So, but it was pretty dejected, pretty disappointing for sure. I mean, Lafayette hitting the post, Shaw and I hitting the side of the net, and it was right there.
Seeing our players and knowing what they all been through, and seeing them kneeling on the ice and saying to themselves, I'm sure, it's over, and we're this close. And what they all went through to get there, you really felt for them.
You know, you can replay that game time and time again. What if, coulda, woulda, shoulda. But when it was all said and done, the Rangers held on. They win 3-2. And instead of Trevor Linden holding up the cup, Mark Messier did.
I know for myself, I was disappointed my hand was broken. But yet, I still, to this day, I thought we were going to win.
It's extremely heartbreaking, guys. Heart and soul for that length of time. They're playing hurt. Some guys very hurt. And when you're so close and then it's just taken away from you like that, it's just such a huge letdown. I mean, I don't know if you ever get over it. I think it took a long time, because you don't get that close to something you dreamed about getting and want so bad, and then not get it, and just walk out the door and say, well, maybe next year. It just doesn't happen. I mean, you lose in 4 straight, and it's say, well, we weren't good enough, but you lose in 7, and it's hard.
It's only, to me, good memories. And I really don't see any bad memories. Even when we lost, I remember I wasn't like sick to my stomach, or I was proud. I was like, wow, was that ever fun? Let's try to do it again. That was how I felt.
I'm finding it a lot easier now to kind of look at clips from the tapes. And I know at the end of the season, we were given a videotape of the whole run. I was able, over the Christmas holidays this year, actually sit down and watch the whole tape, so it was pretty emotional, and you get those chills still down your spine. I get talking about it right now. It's still exciting and chilling down my spine.
It was great because it was a great time in my life, and for the city of Vancouver, it was so much fun that spring. But the way it ended, I still think about it when you get that close.
It was one of the greatest Stanley Cup finals ever played. And there'll be others in the future maybe that will come up to it. There have been very few in the past that came up to that 7 games. Very few go 7 games and have such a dramatic finish to the game. And so it was a great final.
What is sports? Sports, when you play on a team that gives everything they have, everybody. That's all. Is it about winning and losing? I don't know if it is. I think it's about giving everything you have. And I looked at every one of us in the dressing room, and everyone gave everything they had from inside, and I was proud of everybody.
I'll tell you another thing that will stay in my memory for a long time. It was after we had wrapped up the broadcast, Jim Robson and me, we did our thing up in the booth, and we went downstairs in Madison Square Garden at the locker room level, and the players were still in their uniforms. The dejection, the emptiness, the blood, sweat, and the tears, it was all evident. Pat Quinn and the coaching staff, exhausted, just sitting in their respective chairs in the coach's room. Your heart just bled for these guys. You knew that they had given everything that they had, and then some, and came up one lousy goal short. The funny thing about it, it's too bad, but no one really remembers who was number 2. Yet, you know, you have to win, you have to be number 1. That's what seems to go on in history, but certainly those of us who live in Vancouver, it's still the greatest highlight in team history. And I'm hoping one day, Mike, before it's all said and done for me, that I'll be able to say on a broadcast that the Vancouver Canucks are Stanley Cup champions. I hope that happens.